Welcome back my YouTube channel Rare Coin Update, the place where hidden treasures in your pocket change turn into exciting discoveries. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the 1992 South Africa 1 Rand coin, a coin that may look ordinary to many, but for collectors, historians, and numismatic enthusiasts is considered a gem worth discussing. Imagine a simple coin that some claim holds a value of $10 billion. Yes, you heard that correctly. In this video, we will take a deep look into why this coin is so special, what makes it valuable, how collectors see it, and how you can figure out if the coin in your hand is just another everyday piece of money or a potential fortune waiting to be unlocked. So, grab your cup of tea, sit back, and let's take a 36-minute journey into the world of the 1992 South Africa 1 Rand coin. Now let's begin with a little history. The South African Rand was introduced in 1961, replacing the South African pound. The Rand has always carried national significance, being linked closely with the country's political and economic transitions. By 1992, South Africa was experiencing enormous changes. This was a time when the world was watching the end of apartheid, a moment in history that marked new beginnings and uncertainties. Coins minted during such historic transitions often become symbolic treasures for collectors because they capture not only metal and design, but also a piece of living history. The 1992 1 Rand coin is one such coin that represents that shift in South Africa's journey. The obverse of the coin displays the famous springbok, the graceful antelope that has become a symbol of South Africa's natural beauty and heritage. Designed to reflect pride in national wildlife, this image is instantly recognizable. The reverse side features the South African coat of arms, which represents unity and authority. When you hold the coin, you are holding more than just silver or nickel. You are holding decades of symbolism and pride. Collectors are drawn to such designs because they go beyond money. They reflect identity and culture. Now, why is this coin claimed to be worth $10 billion? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and perception. Coins are not always valued by their metal content. Instead, they are valued by their story, their scarcity, and the interest they spark among collectors. The 1992 1 Rand coin was minted in limited numbers compared to other years, and certain versions of this coin, especially proof issues or those in pristine mint state condition, are far rarer. When collectors chase after coins that very few people own, prices skyrocket. Add to this the emotional and historical weight of South Africa's political climate in 1992, and you have a recipe for a coin that collectors are willing to bid high amounts for. Of course, we must clarify. The everyday 1992 Rand coin you find in circulation is not actually traded for billions in real-world markets. But within numismatic storytelling and speculative circles, exaggerated values like $10 billion are attached to emphasize rarity and collector enthusiasm. What really matters for you as a viewer is knowing how to distinguish between an ordinary coin and a collectible one. So, let's go deeper. The first thing you need to check is the condition. In numismatics, condition is everything. A coin that has been heavily circulated with scratches, wear, and faded details will not attract high collectors' interest. On the other hand, a coin that has been preserved carefully with sharp details, clear strike, and shiny surfaces can be valued thousands or even millions of times more. So if you come across a 1992 1 Rand coin, take a close look. Use a magnifying glass. Look for sharpness of the springbok, clarity in the coat of arms, and crispness in the year marking. The second factor is minting variations. Sometimes, coins are struck with errors. Misaligned dies, double strikes, missing details, or even slight changes in font or spacing can create a variety that is highly sought after. For example, a coin with a small minting error could be sold at auction for jaw-dropping amounts because collectors crave uniqueness. If your 1992 1 Rand coin happens to have such a feature, then you might be sitting on something far more valuable than you think. Third, provenance matters. A coin with an interesting story, say one that has been part of a collection for decades, or one that was kept untouched since 1992 in proof sets, will hold more value. Collectors love stories, and when a coin carries history along with condition and rarity, its price goes up dramatically. Now let's imagine you want to sell or evaluate your coin. The process is not as simple as walking into a shop and expecting billions. Instead, you need to take measured steps. First, have your coin graded by a professional grading service. Reputable organizations like NGC or PeaceGS will authenticate your coin and assign a grade. This grade becomes your passport to the numismatic market. Once you have a grade, you can list your coin in auctions, showcase it to collectors, or even put it up in online platforms that specialize in rare currency. But even beyond market value, think of the pride of owning such a coin. Coins like the 1992 South Africa 1 Rand are conversation starters. Imagine showing it to a fellow collector, telling them the story of how this coin reflects South Africa's history, culture, and change. It becomes not just about money, but about heritage. That is why collectors value it so highly. Let's also talk about psychology for a moment. Humans love rarity. When something is rare, even if it's not made of gold or diamonds, its uniqueness creates desire. This is exactly what drives the coin market. When a few people want something that only a handful possess, bidding wars happen and astronomical values are claimed. The 1992 Rand coin falls into this category for certain collectors. Now, imagine this. You're at a coin fair. Dozens of collectors walk around with magnifying glasses, inspecting trays filled with coins from across the world. In one corner, someone quietly pulls out a 1992 South Africa 1 Rand coin in mint condition. A crowd gathers. Whispers start. That's a tough one to find. Bids rise. In that moment, the value is no longer about metal. It's about prestige. Owning that coin means owning a piece of history that very few have. That is the beauty of numismatics. Should you rush to check your change jar? Absolutely. Many treasures are found in the most unexpected places. People around the world have discovered rare coins sitting quietly in drawers, coin jars, or inherited collections. Your 1992 1 Rand coin could be among them. Even if it doesn't fetch billions, it might surprise you with its market value. As we move further into this 36-minute exploration, think of the lessons this coin teaches. Coins remind us that history lives in everyday objects. They remind us that value is not always about money, but about meaning. And they remind us that curiosity can turn into discovery if you take the time to look closer. By the end of this video, I want you to take away 3 things. First, never underestimate the power of history in numismatics. Second, always check your coins carefully, because small details make massive differences. And third, understand that while market values may fluctuate, the joy of discovering and holding a rare coin is priceless. The next time you come across a 1992 South Africa 1 Rand coin, don't spend in a hurry. Study it. Preserve it. Share its story. Who knows? You might just be holding a coin that collectors worldwide dream about. Whether it's truly worth $10 billion or not, the fact remains that this coin has earned its place in the fascinating world of rare collectibles. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the 1992 South Africa 1 Rand coin. Stay curious, keep exploring your change, and never stop learning about the hidden treasures that connect us to history through small pieces of metal.